Hello, welcome to this episode of the Arduino Advent Calendar. It's the 18th of December, so we're up to activity 18, and I do believe that the activity for today, I've just checked the screen again to make sure that I'm not getting ahead of myself, but it's for an alcohol sensor. So we're going to be creating and hooking up a sensor that picks up alcohol on the breath. So it's the end of the day. I've got our ingredients here for the activity. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll start our activity. Okay, just a weather update, as I'm often prone to do in these videos. There is a storm brewing. I'll show you. A bit hard to see, but there are very grey storm clouds and a lot of rumbling thunder. So just a heads up, you may hear some thunder, some lightning potentially, and hopefully we'll get through the activity before any of that takes place. So let's have a look in bag number 18. We have our little alcohol sensor here. So let's see, we've got our prongs here. You can see our ground, where our 5 volt is going to connect up to our analog and digital ports. And this, I'd say, is what I'll be breathing onto to pick up any alcohol on the breath. Okay, so I'm going to plug in our Arduino here. Oops, little sticker. And let's have a look at our first instruction. Okay, connect the 5 volt line from the Arduino to the module. Terrific. So we've got our sensor here, or the module as I called it, and we've got our 5 volt connection just here, VCC. We'll hook that up. And then I'll hook up to the 5 volt just here on our Arduino. Terrific. Okay, now we do the ground. Connect the ground line from the Arduino to the module. Get appropriate cord here. Here we go. Okay, ground. And right next to the 5 volt, we have a ground connection there. Great. Alright, now we're going to connect analog 0 to the module. This is going to be a nice and quick connection activity. Let me just get the right cord for us to use here. Let me peel a fresh one here. And we're going to go from analog 0, we can see a O just under there, hook up that one there, to analog 0 right there. Okay, nice and simple. 5 volt, ground, analog 0, all hooked up there. I can hear that thunder a-rumbling. And let's look at our code. Also pretty simple by the looks of things there. We'll just make a new sketch here. Now let's have a look at what we've got. Alcohol sensor, analog pin to Arduino A0. We got that. Use the Arduino integrated LED, which is connected to D13. So that's our little LED here on the Arduino. It's the integrated one there. And then we have the LED pin is going to give us output, and The gas input is going to be from our sensor here. Serial begin, so this is the board that we're going to use for this. So when I open up the serial monitor, make sure it's to 115,200 and a delay of 2,000 milliseconds, which will mean, will that mean that it will check every 2,000? I think that's what I was discussing earlier on Twitter with Peter, that that may mean, I think, oh no, is that just the initial, and this loop delay is going to check it every 200 milliseconds? I'm really, I need to explore that a bit more. Like I said, this loop, it'll keep looping, reading the signal, pushing out the value of what's being picked up to the serial port and printing it in the serial monitor, and it'll do that every 200 milliseconds. Okay, so that seems pretty straightforward in terms of the code and the way that it's hooked up there. Let's have a look. Step 5 says open the serial plotter, which we will do. And then it's got a little video. Here we have used the serial plotter to view the results as a graph. Now let's just play this quickly to have a little look. So have a drink and then breathe onto the monitor. Oh, and okay, on the graph here, looks like it's doing a readout on the alcohol content there. Yeah, right, that seems pretty good. Step 7, the Santa alcohol test. Now you can set up an alcohol sensor for Santa after his ice cold beer, so he's not over the limit. Sleigh driving. Okay, and it's got a little thing here, Santa blow here, onto the sensor. So they've actually got theirs standing up on the breadboard. That's pretty neat. Awesome. Okay, so that seems pretty clear. It says upload the code. We've done that. Well, actually, I haven't uploaded it yet. I'll just push it out to the Arduino now. Make sure that it compiles. Uploading. Yep, done. So open the serial monitor. Now grab a beer, or better, a whiskey. And when you breathe alcohol over the sensor, you should get a spike in the reading. So we'll go to the serial monitor, and then we'll do the serial plotter. Okay. So I guess the next thing to do is to get some alcohol here. Let's just get this open. I don't know how much is needed to get it on the breath. All right. Thunder is roaring out there. All right. Now I'm going to breathe on the sensor. Here we go. How should I set this up? Oh, actually, we need to do it here too, don't we? Serial monitor. 115,200. And I'm going to breathe onto this. Okay, we've got a value. We've got a lot of numbers. They're going down now. I should have done it before having a drink, shouldn't I? So we get a base level pre-bourbon. Oh, and there's numbers in the 300 and then sink down to 200. I wonder when I just talk like this. Yeah, it comes out when I laugh. Okay, there we go. So let's do the serial plotter. Plotter not available while the monitor's open. No trouble. Let's close the monitor and get the plotter. Okay. Let's do a little alcoholic breath test again. Whoa, skyrocketing there. Hello. I need to try it without the alcohol. I don't know if this is just my breath or the alcohol content. I guess one thing to do could be for have a bit more and then do it straight after. Just let me pop the tripod here, and I'll just, sorry guys, just direct it up there so you can see me. Yep, cool. Okay, so this is what, like a minute or two after having had that drink. Hello. Oh yes, I actually can't even get it above 300 now because the alcohol content is going down in my breath. Well, that's handy to know the time that takes to drop away. But I just have a drink now and then breathe. Oh, 500. There you go. Oh, this is an interesting video. That does certainly seem to pick up the impact of the bourbon there. When I had a drink and breathed, you got a real spike in alcohol-related data there. And now when it settles a bit, I mean, it's certainly up there still, but not as much as when I've just had a drink. So that's certainly a baseline in and of itself, just to show the impact that has. I think that's probably enough. Drinking for one Arduino activity. I'll leave that there. Well, thank you for joining me for this. This was really neat. It all makes sense. The connections were very simple. They're certainly very easy when you've got a module that's so sophisticated that it just does so much itself. And just, you know, the 5-volt ground hooking up to the analog pin there, and the code as well, quite easy to read and understand. So nice little activity, and thank you very much for joining me. And I'll be back tomorrow, December 19th, for a 19th activity. We've only got about 5 left to do before the end of the series. Thanks for joining me, and we'll chat soon.